The outlet mall, right, made big waves. It was reported by Lake News Online, Nancy Zollner, that the outlet mall was sold. Big plans, of course, what the developers were doing, the new ownership team. And we reached out to the city of Osage Beach, and they said, we had not been in communication with that. Well, just on Facebook, that had, gained over 30,000 views. And we were just curious if there had been any update in communication. So we did reach out to Chris Foster. We shared our link and kind of a Cliff Notes version of our story, letting him know, hey, this is what the city said, with Mayor Michael Harmison, and here's kind of the breakdown of it. And he did say he was willing to talk. I reached out Tuesday morning and left a voicemail, but I thought it was interesting that in the comments of our story, Deb Myers posted that Osage Beach mayor and the aldermen really should, have a better idea of what's going on within the city. This is a black eye, and Michael Harmison, the mayor, actually commented on there like, what? And she said, exactly. And he said, as you see in the comments here, misinformation when it may not be the case. I wish people wouldn't base their opinions based on untruths. Anybody can make the news and share plans and ideas, but it doesn't mean that they are communicating with the city or it will come to fruition. And so, I found that interesting. Now, I'll be eager to discuss this and hear directly from Chris Foster with Horizon, but all the excitement surrounding the initial story from Lake News Online with Nancy Zollner would seem to have some obstacles should this come to fruition.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Remember the Fosters and their ownership group tried to buy the malls several years ago, and that fell through. They couldn't work things out with the city. And it's just interesting that you've got all that baggage from the past, and it's coming in. They're trying to make it work again. And we're already seeing some warning signs popping up of, okay, are they getting along? Is this thing really moving along? It'll be fascinating. Chris Foster did get back to us saying, call me. So hopefully next week you'll have a chance to talk to Chris and kind of find out a little bit more. But I'm excited for this. I mean, if this mall movement is really moving forward, these people are really serious, that'll be a huge, huge boon for the community.
Yeah, but a huge disconnect as far as, that initial story too from Lake News Online. If you didn't see the initial story, Chris Foster was quoted as saying that the city was kind of a roadblock from preventing us getting to a deal sealed with the mall, and that they're working with us better. And what we heard from Mayor Michael Harmison in Osage Beach was, hey, we haven't talked to them since December of last year.
Yeah.
I wasn't even aware Chris Foster was part of the ownership team with Horizon. And so there does seem to be a major disconnect here. And as you look back and forth, Mayor Harmison now on Facebook doubled down, publicly writes and says, hey, this could be information. I wish that people wouldn't base their opinion based on untruth. And that's why I'm so eager to hear directly from Chris Foster with Horizon Development, because everybody, I believe, wants the outlet mall to happen. Like, everybody wins. Just how that happens, is there a TIF? Is there a redevelopment agreement that has to come to the city of Osage Beach? Can that happen, and can we keep the peace? That's kind of what everybody's waiting to see. But there was so much excitement surrounding the initial news, right? And what the mall is going to become potentially.
Yeah. One thing we're finding out with all of these projects is none of them are on time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw that with the Nichols apartment. That was delayed, pushed back, and now I think it's coming to completion out there, which is great. The Oasis theme park has been delayed. That's been pushed back basically for a year to open. That has pushed the Marriott Hotel back a year. The mall thing has been sputtering for the last several years. We just talked about the golf thing out off of Highway 54. That's been obviously delayed and pushed back. Everything that has been started seems to be pushed back and delayed for whatever reason in the last 6 months.
And what I'm learning is that massive development and projects are complex. And they do take a lot. You do have a lot of obstacles and hurdles to clear. And so you could expect those delays. And it also is probably fairly common for developers and engineers and people to be eager and aggressive in their initial timeline in a dream world if everything works out. And we're finding that it's not always the case. But it is exciting